Good morning, FBLA. Thank you for joining us on our virtual broadcast journalism presentation. We are your anchors. I'm Lexis Bogert.
I'm Jack Irvin.
And I'm Katie Wen.
We are currently filming at Venice High School, courtesy of Mr. Grant, our school's news director. Over our 3 years at Venice High School, we have witnessed our news department blossom because of Mr. Grant. 2020 Teacher of the Year, Mr. Grant earned the respects of students, staffs, and the local community alike. Due to COVID safety precautions, we have to speak to him on the phone. Hi, Mr. Grant. How are you doing today?
I'm well, Lexi. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. So, what drew you to become a teacher?
I always wanted to work with kids and wanted to be that teacher to help kids find the next step for the next 60 years of their lives.
Interesting. So, what interested you in revamping the school's news department?
School news is such a positive thing for everyone around campus, not just to be known to push athletics, but the arts, the entertainment, everything else that happens around campus. We like to showcase all of our students here at Venice High.
That's great. So, what's your biggest reward in helping the school?
My biggest reward is helping kids get to places where they wouldn't normally have get to without my influence on them. I like watching them grow. I like watching them move. I like watching them achieve their own goals.
That's awesome. Thank you, Mr. Grant, for taking the time to talk to us. I know Mr. Grant has inspired me a lot over my past 4 years at Venice High. Who has inspired you?
I'd say Mrs. Botzai inspired me. She was my 10th grade English teacher, and she just has this sense of humor and energy about her that kind of just drawn me to learn more about English.
I would hands down for me say my government teacher, Mrs. Rolfe. She's definitely opened an interesting discussion about government and politics, and it really has got me interested.
That's awesome, guys.
So thank you, Lexi. Along with spotlighting a teacher, we want to cast a light on the local cornerstone tradition in Venice, our weekly farmers market. The farmers market has always been a big event in Venice for small businesses and community alike to get together and buy and sell goods. Often seen for most of our senior residents in Venice as a weekly event to look forward to. As the world slowly is trying to transition to a new state of normal, the weekly farmers market has been reopened after being closed for 6 months. Though wearing a mask and sanitizing is mandatory, we wanted to know just how reopening the farmers market has made an impact on the community. We decided to reach out to the City Council's photographer, Lorraine Anderson, on her thoughts as she documents this transition. She states, quote, "Though the opening of the farmers market should be taken with precaution, it will take a while before we re-enter normalcy," end quote. Now, have you guys been to the farmers market recently?
I have, Jack, and it's a little different seeing people in masks all the time walking around, and especially it's hard to not smell the smell of kettle corn popping and corn grilling. It's a little difficult, but we can get through it.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite part of living in Venice. What's your favorite part of living in Venice?
My favorite part of living in Venice is seeing all the small businesses growing. From a time that I was very little growing up here, I've seen businesses blossom over here. So I really enjoy seeing that.
Of course. For me, my favorite part about living in Venice is just how the community all comes together and everyone is just really in it. Yeah. Oh, as the COVID epidemic isn't going anywhere anytime soon, the Venice community is taking the initial steps it needs to bring the community back to normalcy.
Thanks, Jack. As we take the cautionary steps back into normalcy, let's go back in a time where a pandemic was the least of our worries. The beginning of our school history dates back to over 60 years ago, as Venice High School was the local junior high school within the 30-mile perimeter. But now housing over 2,000 students, Venice High School is one of the unique schools that is located on an island. Who can say that they can go to school on an island? Inspired by Venice, Italy, Frank Heigl, an original pioneer in the area, set to make this area in Florida a Mediterranean destination. Creating a canal system throughout the coastal part of the city, and the city of Venice mandated to meet a Venetian theme with all their architecture, students feel as if they are in Venice, Italy, with just a walk-off of school campus. A local to Venice for over 30 years and a current teacher at Venice High School is Dr. Sherry Valencic. I had the privilege to interview Dr. Valencic despite her busy schedule and how she looks back on her time in Venice. She states that, quote, "As an amateur paleontologist for most of my life, I've watched people come and visit finding fossilized shark teeth in animal remains, which prompted me to comb Venice's beach for the past 25 years. And I had the opportunity to visit the east side of the city where there are fossilized remains. Also, I am well invested in the city's history as I own one of Venice's 120 original structures, renovating from top to bottom, drawing inspiration from the Mediterranean theme." End quote. With our history alone, Venice High is unparalleled to other schools. Thank you.
Thank you again for tuning in with us for our presentation. Hopefully we can see you in person at States.
Thank you.